What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah!
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. I'm hoping my shit's working very well. Hoping. Good morning. Happy day after Christmas. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, John. Good morning, Fountainhead. Good to see you. Holly, I think I just said hi to you. Warren, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Who else do I get? Kurt, good to see you. Happy holidays. You're full of love, joy, and peace. Very exhilarating to see you here. Yeah, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a few years. It's been like, God, what is it, 2022? So it's probably been like 9 years since I've seen you. So good to see you, Kurt. Good to see that you're still around. Oh, and you're on Facebook too. So awesome. I don't really go on Facebook too much anymore. I'm more of a Twitter person now. So that's probably why you haven't seen me too much on Facebook anymore. But good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. Looks and sounds good. Thank you, Warren. Thank you. Les Bones, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Man, me and Les Bones, we had so much fun last night. So last night, yes, what was it? Yesterday, I my brother on Sunday night ended up staying the night. He's kind of down and out right now, needed a place to stay. So he had yesterday off of work and had to work today. So we let him stay home yesterday. He's a very private person, so I didn't want to be on live stream and like having him walk around, which actually ended up being a good idea because man, that fool didn't even wake up until like 1 in the afternoon yesterday. So I literally just sat in my bed being quiet most of the day, just letting him have his sleep, you know, giving him his chance to rest. He's probably been on go mode for I don't even know how long. So allowed my little brother to have some rest, chill out, relax all day yesterday. And then he went to work today. But last night I was able to play some games, my grounded game again with Les Bones. And we fucking almost beat it. Like we're almost done with the fucking game. And I'm so sad. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, freaking out like what are we gonna do. Like me and Les Bones know the entire storyline now and it's almost done. We actually, what was really crazy is what we did beat it last night, which was so fucking funny because we did not expect, like there's still a whole part of the game that we hadn't even explored really yet. And we just like we're just following the storyline and doing what the guy in the storyline was telling us to do, and we hit the end and it was a bad ending and we're like, oh no, like this isn't good, we haven't even done everything in the game yet, we can't end this game. So we exited out of the game really fast before it could save. And so we were like, okay, we got back in the game and it was like right before the end of the game. We're like, all right, just ignore this spot. Do not come back here again until we're done with the rest of the game. So we did beat it last night, but we backtracked and we're like, no, we're going to keep going because this is fucked up. You can't do this to us. Like we got so much to do. Fucking crazy. Hello, the presenter, peace and love. Oh, it was sad, right, Les Bones? It was so fucking sad. I was like, no, please. We have like 2 people that play with us and they haven't even seen most of the game yet. We're like beating it. We're such bad team players. Oh, God. But we got so much cool stuff in the game yesterday. Now we're like magicians in the game. So we get to kill bugs with magic staffs. And we got like this cool Harry Potter hat. I was so excited yesterday. I was like, fuck yeah, I get a Harry Potter hat and I get magic in the game now. I'm done. Just leave me be. I'm good. I will fight almost anything. Well, I mean, not almost anything. I mean, I guess almost anything, because there are some certain bugs in there that I still won't touch, like the Black Widow in that game is. Usually when you fight bugs in that game, there's like weaknesses and resistance. So you like don't bring the weapons that they're resistant to. You bring the ones that they're weak to. This Black Widow, not weak to anything, no weaknesses whatsoever, and its resistance list is like through the roof. It's ridiculous. Like I don't think there's any weapon in that game, maybe other than your fist, where you can actually hurt that spider because he's resistant to like almost anything. Exactly, I agree, Les Bones. The fucking game is way too short. I'm so sad. I know. I'm like thinking today, like if I do play a game today, what fucking game is it gonna be? Like I'm probably like that we can all play together. I guess our next one is gonna be No Man's Sky, which is kind of fun too, because then you guys get to see me hoe around in the anomaly and shit, which is kind of fun. I turn into like a streets gangster bitch in that game and I really enjoy it. So but yeah, the game is don't press the button. Just don't press the button in that game. But Les Bones is awesome. He gave me a Christmas present this weekend. I was so excited, obviously, because he's my gaming buddy. So he ended up sending me Cyberpunk 2077 for Christmas, which was really awesome. Thank you so much for the gift. I really appreciate it. I started playing it. I gave my lady like these big old honker boobs. It was so cool, like to see like anatomy in a game, which was really cool. I almost gave her a penis. I thought that would be really awesome to like have this girl with like, you know, huge honkers and a penis. But my character, you get like 3 choices of like what lifestyle you want to live, like either a really rich person, a person that lives in the city, or a rogue free person. And I chose the rogue free person. And so I just started playing on that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start 2 more games on the different one and the rich girl. Like I'm going to start on the rich one, and I want to make a girl that's like super hot but with a penis. That way, like if she's rich and powerful and like she fucks people, like Yeah, get it, like that's my bitch. So we gonna hook it up in Cyberpunk 2077. That shit's pretty fun. It's very interesting. I thought it was gonna be more. I mean, it is kind of like GTA. I thought it was gonna be more like GTA, but there definitely is like a storyline that you can follow through. I mean, you can like leave it and go do the side stuff and all that, but I think because I'm like a few hours in the game, but I'm still in the tutorial, I think, because there's still stuff in my inventory that I'm not able to unlock yet. So definitely a very, very, very long intro tutorial to that game, like very long intro tutorial to that game. So I think I'm still in the tutorial part, but it's cool. It's really fun. The graphics are amazing. It looks so realistic. Even like being able to sit in the back seat of a car while somebody like the NPC is driving you is so cool to be able to just sit in the back seat and like look around at the town and the city and everything while like the NPC is talking to you, whatever. So that shit is fucking great. I really, really, really like the graphics. So I try to get a little bit of a gaming in. I spent some time with the family on Sunday. We did my family does because there's like so like it's my mom and my dad and then me and my brothers and sisters and all of our kids, but like me and my sister have the most amount of kids. I have two and then my husband has three, so in my family we have five kids and a grandson. My sister has four kids, but then like my other brothers and sisters, like one of my brothers has none, my other brother has one, and my other sister has only one kid. And so we don't really see them very often because they're like out doing their own lives and stuff. So most of us kids in the family are all grown-ups. And we don't want to buy Christmas presents for all of us. Like literally we're going to be fucking broke for Christmas if we buy presents for everyone. So we do white elephant gifts to where we all have like a $25 range to buy a gift, each one of us grown-ups. So like me and my husband would each have to buy one gift, so that way we can be a part of the white elephant gift, because you have to give one to take one. So we bought our white elephant gifts and we did the white elephant gift exchange there, and it was really, really fun because my sister brought as a white elephant gift those knives. I don't know if you know those like colorful knife sets. They're like, they've got that like colorful silicone on top of it, so you got like different size knives with the different colors and the different, they're like different shapes and stuff. And who was it? I think it was my grandma that opened that up. And so with the white elephant gift game, you open up a present, and then when it's the next person's turn, they can either open up another present or steal a present. Now that present itself, like the object itself, only gets 2 steals. So the first steal is fine, but then when it's another person's turn, if they want to steal that same object after the second steal, it's locked in place. You can't take it anymore. And as soon as my grandma opened up that knife set, and my sister was like, because I knew it was her gift wrapping, because she was the only one who brought princess gift wrapping or present that was gift wrapped. So I knew that was hers. And as soon as she opened it and I saw the knife set, I looked over at my sister and I was like, you fucking bitch. I was like, I've been wanting that fucking knife set for so goddamn long. So I made my husband, so like I was in cahoots with a couple people in my family. I'm like, look, we've got to work this out. Like something's got to give. We've got to get something that we want, So I saw my husband, as soon as my grandma opened the present, I looked at my husband. I was like, I want those fucking knives. Like you need to take those. And that was my one steal. I knew that either, because I was like second to last, I knew I wasn't going to get anything good with being last. But so I had my husband steal it, and I knew that my mom was right in front, like 2 people in front of me. And I was like, all right, mom, like, take this, get it locked down, and I'll get you something. Like, and then me and you can switch. I just like totally left my husband in the ditch. So my mom stole it. She locked it in for me. I tried to steal something from my mom, but my brother, who was right, or my brother-in-law, who was the end person, the last one, ended up stealing that from me, which locked it into place for him. And I couldn't get my mom really anything she wanted. I ended up getting like this table tray that you could put like your laptop on or your food on or whatever and sit it on your lap. Yeah, exactly, John. It's like a regifting nightmare. Yeah, no, the kids get presents. The kids get normal presents. They all get their own presents no matter what. It's just us grown-ups that don't want to fucking go broke trying to figure out what the fuck to get each other, So I ended up getting the knife set. My mom took the little table mat because she wanted something to where she can sit on her couch and watch TV and eat dinner. And I already have like a couple of those for my laptop. So I was like, Mom, just this is yours. You can have it. Just let me have the knife set. So I got the knife set. My husband, because I ended up leaving him in the ditch to kind of like try to figure out what, because he did never looked at me like of what he wanted in the whole thing. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna let him get what he wants. He ended up with it's like a piano, like a foot stepping piano, like you can step on it, but it goes around your fucking toilet. And as soon as he got that, I didn't even notice that he had gotten that present. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get more into like the trying to trade the knives with my mom. And I just hear like my dad and my sister in the background going, "Oh no, this is not going to end well." And I look over and my husband's playing with this like toilet piano thing. And I'm like, "Oh no, 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 you can't have this. Like 5 o'clock in the morning, you're getting up for work, and all I'm gonna hear in that early in that morning is ding, 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 ding in the fucking bathroom all fucking morning. Like I am not having that." I know my husband, like he's gonna be fucking off the hook with that fucking piano toilet thing. I don't want it. I don't fucking want it. So I ended up talking him into giving it to my nephew for my sister. So now my sister gets to deal with the piano toilet music making machine. So it's so fun. A kitty convention. Yeah, I know. The cats got presents too. The kitties and the dogs, they all got presents. Come here, lady. Come on. You can jump over it. It is not that scary. Come on. There you go. See? I swear she gets so scared about just going through a doorway. So they all got presents. The cats got some toys. I got the cats definitely some toys to play with. That way, poor Burton, you know him, he's like 6 months old and he just runs a fucking muck. So I got him some toys to play with. You know, those like little round things that have like the ball inside of it and it just goes around. So that way they can play with the ball that goes around. Some little like things that are like weighted to where, you know, you can like roll it around, but it always stays up top. And you can put like some treats inside of it. So that way when it starts rolling around, like little treats will fall out for him. He's loving all of it. Oh, geez, lady. I got the dog some chew toys and some play toys, some squeaker toys, of course. I found this one really cool one. It's like this big, long, square dog toy. And it's got like these little pockets of squares all the way in, like all throughout it. And every single one is a different squeaker. Like every single one of them is a different type of squeaker. And that's her favorite toy. She is in love with it. She loves anything that squeaks, and it's different kinds of squeaks. So the dogs and kitties were very, very happy this year. They definitely got hooked up. I bought the dogs like some cool little sausage links, you know, like doggy sausage links. And I bought them some some ice cream cups for doggies. They sell these cool like pup cups, I think they're called. They're like little cups of ice cream for dogs. So I got them that, and I got the kitties some little kitty treats to put in their new little toys to play with. I got my daughter, she pretty much had like her own little list of what she wanted. So pretty much got her most of what she wanted. I think like minus a couple of like dancing things. But other than that, she pretty much got what she wanted. She got a new iPad this year. So we're going to be paying off this iPad that we added to our telephone service for like 2 years. So that's exciting. We're going to be paying something off for 2 years because of her. My other daughter wanted headphones, so we got her some headphones. The other daughter wanted like some car Legos, so we got her some car Legos. They're all like all into for some reason right now, I guess the vibe is like Hawaii themed, you know, like Bahamas, pine trees, or you know, whatever, like, you know, that beach kind of stuff. So they had my daughter loves doing what is it, like those gingerbread houses every year, and I found a beach house one. So we ended up doing a beach house gingerbread house. It's like all blue, and it's got candy on it that, you know, is like multicolored, and then it's got this cookie on the side with a palm tree and a surfboard. And so they've got their own little gingerbread house surfboard thing. So that's what's been going on. Hi, kitty. Miss Izzy wants to say hi. Say hi, Miss Izzy. We can play. I would love to play wait, You mean Valhalla? Wait, what's Valheim? What's that? Is that a different game? I know the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but that's only a single player, so that's gonna suck. We gotta find some more multiplayer games, or I gotta get you guys into Fortnite at least. You know, maybe like once you guys play enough of it and start to get used to it a little bit, because that game will never end. So, the cats, I think the cats might have wanted catnip, most likely, but you know, well, Odin is really good with it. Mama cat right here, Izzy, she's pretty decent with it too. It's little Burton that I haven't tried a lot of things with because he's still so young. He's only like 6 or 7 months old, so he's still young, and I haven't tried the catnip on him. But because he's like that age, he's going through, you know, I don't even know what the fuck he's going through right now. He's like puberty, I guess you would call it. He's going through puberty right now. He's fucking psycho. He's like literally psychotic and like nuts and crazy and shit. So I'm worried about giving him catnip. I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe when he's like after a year old and he starts to calm down a little bit, because I think that testosterone that's running through his blood right now is fucking wild. So Valheim is another popular multiplayer game. No way. Okay. I know there's those other ones too, like, oh, what are some of them that I heard where people grief a lot too, and it's really, really mean? Like Ark. I heard Ark is good, but it's really hard. Things like that. Yeah, we'll have to figure something out, find something. Because, yeah, all the games that I have on my computer right now, like, except for Grounded and Fortnite, are all, like, single-player games. Like, you got me this. I thought Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be like GTA, where it's, like, multiplayer open world type stuff, but it's not. Like, why are you able to make your character so specifically unique if you're not able to be a part of the city, you know, with other people in the game? Like, I think that would be a lot better if they did that. That's the reason why I wanted the game when it came out, like, what was it, a year ago or so, or 2 years ago around this time, is because I thought it was multiplayer and it would be like Grand Theft Auto, but more futuristic and a lot more fun. And it's not. It's a single player, and I'm really sad. And I'm lonely. I'm so lonely in those games. All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry. There is my weekend. Like I said, just a lot of family stuff, trying to recover. I got a little bit of recouping yesterday because my brother was here, so I didn't have to really do anything just except for sit on my bed and do nothing, which was really nice. Just stay quiet, which is pretty much how I like my house anyway. It just quiet. I don't even have my freaking living room lights on today. I'm just like, nope, my house is going to stay dark and it's going to stay quiet today. And that's what we're doing. That's it. So that's what we've been doing that's what I've been doing all weekend is family, you know, holidays. So I'm glad that part is over. Now it's on to the next part of the holidays, which is the New Year's, which I don't think my family is really going to do much of anything. Usually my kid passes out before midnight anyway, because she doesn't stay up very, very late. So plus I'll be doing the New Year's Eve stream all day here. And then Saturday night, I'll be doing the midnight show, East Coast midnight show with Warren over on Extra Booyah. So I pretty much will probably just be sitting at home doing nothing as well. I'm excited. It's very nice. Usually if I'm going to do anything outside of like working for New Year's, it's usually I'll like hook up my karaoke machine and have my brother come over and we'll do some karaoke, but that's about all we'll do. So, you know. But other than that, yeah, this week is just going to be me doing this show. And then when I get off this show, trying to come or download all the video clips that I can find for the top 10 for the New Year's Eve show. So we have like 16 news stories from this year, and I need to find clips for all of them, figure out which one won or which ones won the top 10, and then make a compilation of that. So I've got to figure that out. I know that Sabby Sabs has been posting it on her Twitter for people to fill out the form. of their like 1 through 16, the top 16 of the news stories of the year, which was most important to you. So I just got to go get the answers of from the spreadsheet from Sabby, I believe, and then I'll be able to make that the top 10s and stuff. So that's going to be some work. I think what I'm just going to do is just clip out all the videos first to get everything I can, and then worry about the organization and the order that they go in afterwards to wait until I'm hoping it's not going to, I don't have to wait until last minute from Sabby to get all the votes, because that's going to be really hard doing it last minute. But I mean, I'll do what I have to do. If I've got to, buckle down on Friday after here, and then Saturday morning before I go on the New Year's Eve panel with the Chicago Corner guys, get something going and made and uploaded. So that way Shane and Sabby have it later on that night. I think that's going to be good. I know that the Chicago Corner wants to do like a top 10 craziest news stories of the year. So we'll see about doing all of that too. So yeah, that's all of that. I did look for some news stuff from this weekend. Just a lot of random, interesting, weird things going on. So for today, I'm going to just read off the list. And then if I have time to do all of this, let's hope I do, then we'll go through them. So what I have first, what I have on the list was migrants that were forced to Kamala's house this weekend on Christmas Eve. Pierce Morgan's Twitter was hacked yesterday for about an hour, and that shit was hilarious. So some power outages from attacks in certain cities this weekend. They've been calling it vandalism. I heard this morning they were calling it some sort of domestic terrorism, but at first they were calling it vandalism, while at the same time, like not too long ago, these activists that were pretty much trying to save the trees were charged with terrorism. The East Coast got their bomb cyclone this weekend. I know that we're gonna, over here on the West Coast, we're getting ours pretty soon. I believe this week is gonna be brutal for us, starting maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. But that's going to be crazy. And you guys dealt with some, I got some videos for it. You all out there on the East Coast, man, just even in like New York, it was wild. Like just everything, like it wasn't even like covered in nice snow. It was like covered in ice. It was wild to see like a snowstorm that was just all ice. I've never seen anything like that. So that's what I have. You guys are funny. I like start off with like, I'm watching y'all. I like start off with like 10 people. Y'all just come in to see what I'm talking about over my weekend, and then y'all leave because now I'm back down to 5 people. Oh, it's so funny. I watch you. I try to pay attention to the algorithm, and y'all just want to know what I do on my day off or on my weekends, and then you're all like, okay, she's on to the news story. I'm done with this bitch. Oh, I love it. That's great. You guys are okay. So I'm going to start off with, why is it doing it like that? You're fucking weird. I'm going to start off with the New York is mad brick right now. Mad brick. Is that some sort of Gen Z talk? Mad brick. Oh, what is it, like everything's like, yeah, right. Okay, so as the kids say, yeah, like does that mean like everything was iced up, everything was hard, or is mad brick like not cool? Because I'm learning. I don't know what that one is. I haven't heard that one yet. That's a new one for me. It was raining in Northern California. Yeah, we did get a little bit of rain. Oh no, we didn't down here in Southern California. It's actually been really, really nice the last few days. Like we got that snowstorm, what was it, like a week or two ago? And then just nothing this whole week. It's been super nice. Like my mom, who even lives higher up in the mountains, was warning all of us, like, bring extra jackets. I don't know how cold it's going to be. And then we all get there and we're just like, take off jackets. It's fucking hot. It's wild. And I'm up in the mountains. So, but I think this was like the calm before the storm, because yeah, California is supposed to be getting hit with something pretty rough this week. Like that's supposed to be lasting all week long from what I'm hearing. So it just means it's really cold. Okay, that makes sense, I guess, because bricks are cold. I don't know. That makes no sense to me. These fucking kids, I swear. Like, or what's the word? Riz. So if you've got like, a good people personality, you're like really good with people, you're cavalier and you're really well off with people, then you got Riz. It's so funny. What was it? Like that man, I'm really upset about that what was it? That Kevin guy, the one that had like on TikTok, he was doing the female gaze thing, which we ended up finding out that he was actually a really bad person. They were saying that he had Riz. I think that's where it started, was from that Kevin guy. People are like, he's got Riz. I don't know. That's the first time I ever heard it was from there. So I don't know. But yeah. Actually here, we're talking about the bomb cyclones. So let's watch this, because this shit was nuts. So this is it's called Labak TV. I don't know who they are. But the person that talks in here, it sounds like a robot or somebody from like the old school anonymous dudes. Yeah. Like this, like right here, like look at that. It's just ice, snowstorm. Like that's not even a pretty snow. That's just straight up
Snow
ice.
squall warnings are in effect for parts of southern Ontario,
the anonymous
including
thing.
areas that were already hard hit by blizzard
I heard about a
conditions over the
pileup
past
too.
few days. Environment Canada.
This weekend there was like a 80-car pileup somewhere as well. That's fucking.
Is warning of up to 30 additional cm of snow for parts of Niagara Falls, Welland, and southern Niagara region by Tuesday afternoon. Snow squalls over Lake Erie are moving northward towards southern portions of the Niagara Peninsula, the weather agency said. Snow squalls are expected through the day Monday and into Tuesday afternoon before moving south of the area. Along the shoreline of Lake Erie, 30 centimeters is
Dodger. Hey, I meant to mute myself.
Possible, along with blowing snow due to winds gusting near 60 kilometers per hour, the weather agency said. The region has already faced blizzard conditions over the past few days, leading to widespread road closures.
Yeah.
On Saturday, emergency alerts were also issued for Fort Erie and Port Colborne, advising people to stay off the roads due to poor conditions. A snow squall watch is in effect for Dunnville, Caledonia, and Haldimand, with up to 20 centimeters possible there, particularly close to the lake. The Bruce Peninsula, Orillia, and Parry Sound areas are also under snow squall warnings, with up to 50 centimeters possibly by Tuesday afternoon, according to Environment Canada. An organized lake effect snow band is expected to persist over the region today and through much of Tuesday, the weather agency said. The main snow squall activity extends from central sections of the Bruce Peninsula, through Christian Island and to areas between Midland and Parry Sound. The Barrie, Owen Sound, and Blue Mountains areas are under a snow squall watch, with up to 25 centimeters possible there. Further east, in the Kingston area, there is a snow squall watch in place with up to 20 centimeters possible, particularly near the shore of Lake Ontario. Snow squall development is expected over Lake Ontario starting early this morning. These snow squalls will slowly move north today, possibly reaching Highway 401 this afternoon. However, it is possible that the snow squalls will remain just south of Highway 401, Environment Canada said. It certainly has been an eventful start to the holidays across southern Ontario after a major winter storm brought much of the region to a standstill over the past 48 hours.
Oh, yeah.
From flash freeze and heavy snow to damaging.
This is a lot from Canada, so this is like one from Canada. The next one I have is from out in New York. But Canada, man, they got brutalized too. Look at that.
These conditions have resulted in many road closures in the hardest hit areas, and emergency officials are asking people to stay off the road. We are now approaching the night before the big day, and the snow squalls that have buried regions east of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay along with the Niagara and Kingston regions refuse to let up. The relentless snow squall activity will continue to lead to rapid snowfall accumulation for the areas that have already been hardest hit. Parts of Grey, Bruce, Huron and Perth counties east of Lake Huron, in addition to Muskoka east of Georgian Bay, have seen snow drifts approach 100 centimeters. And as the snow squalls continue overnight into Christmas morning, we expect to see.
Okay, so a snow squall is often associated with strong cold fronts. They're a key wintertime weather hazard. They move in and out quickly and typically last less than didn't get to read. So it won't let me finish reading the rest of it. Snow squalls are intense bursts of snow and wind. While short in duration, they can cause whiteouts and poor road conditions. Snow squall warnings to alert you when traveling. Watch this video. Yeah, that's what a snow squall is. A sudden moderately heavy snowfall with blowing snow. Hey, Dodger, out! And strong gusty surface winds.
An additional 25 until 50 centimeters of snow on top of what has already been received. Meaning that the final snowfall totals for this weekend could be well over 100 centimeters in some areas. Overnight we do expect to see somewhat of a break for regions to the northeast and east of the lakes with the snow squalls drifting southward by morning. This will bring the snow squall threat down into regions southeast of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay, including northern Simcoe County and Kawartha Lakes. The lake effect snow off Lake Erie and Lake Ontario should shift south of the border after pummeling the Fort Erie and Prince Edward County regions. Squalls will continue throughout Sunday with this primarily northwesterly flow, although they may drift back north towards the end of the day. It looks like the snow squalls will remain ongoing into Monday, although the exact locations impacted is unclear. As we have seen so far with this storm, the snowfall accumulation will be intense.
Can you imagine having one of those in your fucking yard ready to go? That would be fucking awesome. I want one of those as a snow shovel. I got a snow shovel for the winter for this year, but it's definitely not as awesome as that. That would be the shit.
Accumulation will be intense, but very localized, so not everyone will experience the crippling condition.
It's so crazy because I'm from Southern California, so it's so wild to see like a city, like with there's a AAA building. There's, hey, look, it's a Wendy's. Some people in my group will understand that joke. But I'm from Southern California, so when you're in the city in Southern California and snow or winter comes, we don't get shit like this. You only see this stuff up in the mountains, like not down in the city. So it's so wild to me to see that people just live in cities that end up being like this sometimes throughout the winter. That's so mind-blowing to me. I'm definitely not traveled, as you can tell, not well-traveled. It's just so cool to see like a flat city that's, a city, and it's got all this snow like what you would get in the mountains in Southern California, because in the cities of Southern, like LA, Los Angeles, San Diego, all those places, like you're not going to get this at all, ever. Maybe once in a 10 to 20 years, you might get a little bit of snowfall in Southern California, like in the cities, but it's like just a little bit of snow. And then by noon or 1 o'clock, that shit's all melted. You don't get anything like this out here at all. This is so cool.
And some locations that have yet to see these conditions are expected to have conditions worsen later tonight, so don't let your guard down just yet.
New York City yet? Okay.
The highest
they
totals.
Were saying for the New Year's, if you're going to come out to, because since this thing is like over and done now, that if you're going to go out to New York for the ball drop for New Year's, they said that it's going to be actually really nice. Just maybe bring like a rain jacket because it might rain a little bit, but other than that, it's supposed to be, a pretty fucking decent New Year's this year in New York City. So yeah. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. We got wind with these single digits. That was bad enough without adding the snow to the mix. Yeah, the wind is what makes it worse. Like you can see a temperature, but you need to look at that wind chill because that's really where it's at. That's what I like to do because when I go down into the city, no matter how warm it is, whenever I hit like a shady area, it's so much colder in the shady area than it is in the sunny area. It's I mean, it's not wild, obvious. It's obvious why, but that's why I have to look at the wind chills and stuff when I go out to places, because I know that if I'm not standing directly in the sunlight, that it's going to be fucking cold probably. 1 year you had a feet of snow, had to walk over the mountains. Oh, geez. Had to walk over mountains. Yeah. Oh man, that's great. It's in the 30s in Western Washington State. It's been in the 10s, so it actually feels warmer. Jeez. Man, we're spoiled out here. I'm telling you. Rainy, but a low of 48 in New York. Oh, on New Year's Eve? Yeah. Beats the hell out of 8 degrees for real. I mean, 48 is pretty much what we've been around up here in the mountains. When I went down to the city to do the Christmas shopping. I think it was like it had to have been up into the 80 degrees out there. Yeah, see, it's 48 right now here where I live. So that's pretty much what we're at right now. And that's how we've been all weekend, is up here in the mountains, like in the low 50s, high 40s. So not too bad. Hi, Natalie. Good to see you, or nice to meet you. Welcome. We're talking about the winter weather storm out on the East Coast right now. So let's continue watching.
Still to come will extend from the Bruce Peninsula through southern Muskoka and northern Simcoe County, where we are looking at an additional 30 until 50 centimeters of snow by the end of Monday. Some localized pockets may even exceed 50 centimeters and come close to 75 centimeters depending on where the squall sets up and how long it locks in place. A more widespread region will pick up around an additional 20 until 40 centimeters.
Damn, look at that guy's door. Holy shit, that's so much snow. That's up to his neck. That's got to be taller than me. That has to be taller than me. That's an insane amount of snow. I've always wanted to have something like that. Go somewhere where it snows so much that you open up your front door and this is what it looks like. Because you see them in like cartoons and movies and stuff where they have to like dig themselves out. I want to do this. This sounds so much fun. You want to go? I bet you do. We're fucking spoiled down here in the South. It's so nice. I mean, look at me. It's literally like you guys just got done with a storm, and I'm over here in a tank top because I'm sweating my ass off this morning. I had a sweater on, but I started sweating and I took it off. So that's how nuts it is. When you lived in Nebraska, the wind chill factor was 40 degrees below zero. I don't think I can handle that. I think I would probably die.
Centimeters of snow, which includes the rest of Muskoka, Kawartha Lakes, and regions east of Lake Huron. The K/W region.
Yeah, exactly, Warren. Yeah. Just go down south for the winter, back north for the summer, so you can avoid the killer humidity. Just call yourself a free bird. You're a free bird. You're like all the other birds. You fly south for the winter. You fly north for the summer. You're like a bird. Just call yourself the free bird. That's it.
Along with Barrie and Peterborough is right on the bubble and could go either way, so we've gone with a 10 until 25 centimeters range here due to the low confidence in how far inland these squalls will make it. The accumulation gradient will be quite tight, so surrounding regions will see little in terms of snowfall, ranging from 5 until 15 centimeters. The snow squall activity to the east through the Niagara and Kingston regions will be primarily a story for just this evening, with bands shifting southward overnight.
Ooh, look at that snow.
Regardless, we are expecting quite a heavy dumping of snow still ahead for Fort Erie and Prince Edward County, seeing an additional 20 until 40 centimeters, likely towards the lower end of this range. Port Colborne and Kingston will see around 10 until 25 centimeters of more.
You're absolutely right. That lake effect snow is ridiculous. We live right next to a lake, and I swear it just makes things colder. It really, really does. Certain parts of our lake out here, it actually gets so cold, like in the shallow areas, you can ice skate on top of it during the wintertime after it snows. There's some pretty deep sections of our lakes out here, like Lake Arrowhead can get pretty fucking deep. So you don't want to, there's no way to ice skate out there. But that water, man, whoo, it's so fucking cold. Even during the summer, the lakes out here are freezing, because all those lakes are up here is melted snowfall. So it's ridiculously cold. Like these lakes, I can't even go in them. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm just going to sit outside and stick my feet in, maybe a boat. Take me in a boat so I can stick my hands in, but I ain't jumping in that. No. Hey, psst. You two stop fighting. God. Have you ever met a cat who hates its child? Jesus Christ. Good morning, Sherry. Yes, lake snow effect is the worst. It's, oh my God. It is just so much more cold. It's brutal. According to, okay. It looks like Holly and her friend are in here having a conversation. Okay. Hey, Sherry. It makes it makes crazy even more crazy. It does. It's nuts being next to a lake during the wintertime. I know it. I know it. This whole mountain is just full of little pockets of lakes. I don't understand how. I think they even close the lakes up during the wintertime here. So, yeah, you can't even. I mean, you can like walk around the lake because it's like a 2 mile hike around the lake. So it's really good if you ever like are into jogging or exercise. You know, like, hey, the jog around this lake is 2 miles, so I could do a 2 mile walk every day if I want to. But that's pretty much all you can do during the wintertime. There is no, that thing is gated off. There's no going in it during the winter. That's scary. That's terrifying.
Snowfall by the end of the weekend. And the surrounding locations, including Welland, Belleville, and Brockville,
You
will
gotta
get
love it
5
when,
until 15 centimeters
shit
of additional
happens.
accumulation.
Because people aren't used to it. See? Like, they're not, you know. Hey! Izzy, leave your kid alone. And Mr. Burton, leave mom alone. Jesus Christ, these animals are just so mean to each other.
2 former Maryland residents are among those now sharing their stories of living through a deadly blizzard in Buffalo, New York. A father tells his story of surviving the storm with his 2 children and dog after being trapped for hours inside their car. And a former state representative
Yeah, that's
shares
what they were saying yesterday, is that like 50 something people died out there on the East Coast, like mainly in New York. There were obviously, the people on the streets that couldn't find a place to live, obviously they're not going to make it overnight, but people even in their cars. And it totally, cause I haven't had a car in so long. I'm like, yo, like, I mean, I've lived in my car before, so I understand, but I've lived in my car in Southern California. So one of my windows was busted out because I locked the keys in the car once and I couldn't figure out a way to get in. So I just busted the door and then duct taped it back together while I was living in my car. So I've dealt with how cold an inside of a car can get, but I'm such an idiot. I was like, come on now. It's like snow. You gotta like, at least leave your car on all night long while you're sleeping in it. So that way you've got your heater. And then my husband's like, babe, not everybody has a working heater in their car. And I'm like, oh my God, you're fucking right. And not everybody has slept in their car to remember to bring a bunch of blankets. So they just have what they have. And then they froze overnight. Like, oh my fucking God, that is insane to me. It hit me really hard because I've lived in my car. I know how cold it can get in your car. I've lived in my car. Like I would sleep overnight down in Santa Monica during the wintertime. That's right next to the beach at night. It gets fucking cold because that moisture, it gets even more cold when it hits the cold air. Oh man, it's brutal in the beach time, at wintertime. At least, even in my, Southern California life where, I'm extremely privileged, when it comes to weather, but still like I can empathize with it and knowing like, what if you don't have a heater in your car, you're trying your best to stay warm. It's really sad. 16. I heard way more. I thought it was like in the 40s or something, or the 50s. Jeez. Yeah, the black ice makes for driving treacherous. That's a lot of people don't understand what, when black ice hits or how it starts or anything like that. Usually it's like the first real snow or first real bad weather of the season is where you get that black ice because, yeah, it's all the oils that have accumulated over the summertime and then this snow goes on top of it. There you go. You've got your black ice. So it's very, very, very dangerous.
About how his community came together during the blizzard. Bill Braunrat, a former Maryland state delegate from Montgomery County, said the weather reports heading into the Christmas weekend at his adopted home in Buffalo, New York didn't rattle him at first. That was until he heard his Buffalo neighbors worrying about blizzard forecasts. When Buffalonians start to say, "We've never seen anything like this," then you might be in trouble, Braunrat told WTOP. That storm ripped through western New York Friday and Saturday, killing 28 people in one of the worst weather-related disasters ever to hit the area. Up to 9 more inches of snow could fall in some areas of western New York through Tuesday, the National Weather Service said. Braunrat, who also worked as a transportation official for the Obama administration, spoke to WTOP about how he and his neighbors dealt with the storm. Braunrat said he thought that he prepared for the winter this year, especially after purchasing a...
I just saw that you said, thank goodness for yak tracks. What's that? That's interesting. I've never heard of that before. Yeah, oh my gosh. less bones. I didn't even think about that. Now I'm going to think about that all day. Oh, you saw 2 this morning, so that's a good sign. You didn't see the other one, though? No. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Those poor babies. So that's what hurts me the most, like, the snow out there, that happening, or, like, when we have fires out here in California. Man, the pictures sometimes that come out of those wildfires of animals, like, just with no fur, that's all been burnt to a crisp, and they're, like, just barely even surviving. Man, that shit breaks my heart every fucking time. That's worse to me, like, I feel bad for people losing their homes and losing everything that they have, but seeing, like, just a helpless, harmless cat with all of its hair burnt off is just the fucking worst. I hope you see him later on today too, and I hope you bring them in just for a little bit to give them some warm food, even just a little bowl of, like, watered down milk, just to feed their or fill their bellies up, because I'm pretty sure right now, with all this snow, they ain't finding no fucking food. Like, nothing. Not a damn thing. You put them over. Oh, okay. Yak tracks are something you put over your shoes. They're studded so you can walk over ice, especially sheet ice, which is very treacherous. Oh, okay. We don't have, I've never heard of yak tracks, but we do have, like, we call them, like, shoe chains. So they're like tire chains, but for your shoes. I've always wanted to do, like, what they do in, you ever see those Survivor videos, like the ones that those people that live up in Alaska, and they'll take, like, 2 tennis rackets and then tie them around their shoes? That would be fun. Like, I've always wanted to try stuff like that. Like, I live in the snow, so I probably could do all of this stuff. It's just, I've lived in the snow for so long now that, like, every time it snows, I'm like, I'm just going to stay in. I mean, I'll go shovel my driveway and go shovel up the stairs and stuff to get into the house, but I'm staying in the house. I always think, like, oh, I want to do this when it snows. I want to do that when it snows. And then when it actually snows, I'm like, I'm staying in. I am staying the fuck in. Yeah, I was talking about Bambi. You love your yak tracks? That's so cool. I've got to go find and look into that, because I think, because my husband goes out and works in the snow. He does. He works for Caltrans out here, which is the California Transportation System. And he does the snow chains for the Caltrans department out here. And so when it snows, he's out there. Like, he's on the highway up our mountain, making sure that everybody that comes up the mountain's got snow chains on. So he's out there in the shit, putting snow chains on people's tires for money. So him having maybe some yak tracks might actually help him be able to walk a little bit better in that snow when he's putting all those snow chains on. Plus, I haven't gotten him anything for Christmas yet, so I might look into that. He's going to see, like, some kind of fucking charge on his credit card from me, and I'll be like, don't look at it. Just don't look at it, bro. It's a present. Just don't look. England is freezing cold, but it isn't the Arctic zone. Yeah, I bet. Your mom wore them in northern Michigan, the snowshoes. You have modern ones. Okay, they have modern version ones. All right.
Now flour.
All right.
However, it was stored inside a shed.
I'm definitely going to look into them today, because I want to get my husband a present, but I don't want to get him something stupid. I want to get him something practical, and I think that those for his work would probably be pretty goddamn practical.
Was affected in one way or another, he said. We made the best of it, and it turned out to be kind of a nice time connecting with neighbors.
Hey.
There was one resident of his Buffalo home making the most of the storm and its aftermath, his 6-month-old Spin 1 Italiano puppy, Lucia. Fortunately, she's grown a lot, so she's able to move through the snow pretty well, he said. By midday Monday, snow removal crews had made it to Bronrot Street to begin the long, labor-intensive job of digging out. The National Weather Service said the snow total at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport stood at 49.2 inches, 1.25 meters, at 10 a.m. Monday. They're clearing a path that is resulting in 6, maybe 8-foot walls of snow, he said. Through it all, the former Maryland delegate said the storm did emphasize something the city is known for,
Don't ever
neighborliness.
give me your credit card. No way. I am the best person to give a credit card to, because I forget about it and I don't like to use it, and I'm too scared to use it. Every time I use my husband's credit card to even just grocery shop or even to pay a bill, I'm like, as soon as he gets home, I'm like, babe, I paid a bill. It was like 120. And then he knows, because I've grown up really, 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 really poor. So I'm very cautious about spending money, like very cautious. I always think like, if I spend this money, what's it going to do to my future? You know, like what, or immediate future, or even long-term future, like, is this worth it? And so he knows that I have like this really bad trauma when it comes to spending money. So actually I'm the best when it comes to holding credit cards, because I personally have never owned a credit card or a debit card or any kind of plastic, just because I don't know. I never wanted to get myself involved in that stuff, like the debt part of it and everything that could possibly come along with it. So, but yeah, when my husband comes home, I'll tell him that I bought like groceries and it was like $120 or something. And he knows that I'm traumatized by it. So he'll be like, oh no, let me check and see if I can make sure we can afford something, you know, or pay the rent next month. I'm like, you motherfucker, like, all right, I'm calling Instacart. We're taking all this stuff back. I am so fucking sorry, you know? And he's like, no, you're good. I was just kidding with you. Like, I'm fucking playing with you, bro. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you can't stop. You guys. I was like, you can't do this to me, like, at all. You can't do this, okay? Like, I'm already freaking out of the fact that I'm spending $100 on fucking groceries, or I'm spending $100 on a utility bill. So I'm actually, like, the best when it comes to giving a credit card, too, because I don't fucking touch that shit. So you haven't had a credit card in almost 30 years. Well, I'm 37, and I've never had a credit card. I did get a prepaid card once, just because I knew I was going to, where was I going? It was a 4-day trip to San Diego for the Comic-Con convention. And I knew that I was going to be in like booths and all kinds of stuff like that. So I didn't want to bring, like, I had saved up that whole month. I had like $1,000 saved for the convention. And I knew I couldn't bring $1,000 in cash with me to a comic book convention, you know? So I ended up buying like one of those prepaid debit cards, like you can get at like those credit places or whatever, so you don't spend any more than what's already on the card. And that's pretty much what I've done. I did that. And then as soon as I left San Diego, I think there was like probably maybe like $10 left on the card or something. And then I just threw the card away and I never touched it again. So that's the only kind. And I don't even have my husband's credit card or his bank account card or whatever. All I have is like the numbers from a screenshot or a picture that he sent me of like the front and the back of his card. And that's all I got. So I don't even have like actual plastic. So if I do get anything, it's usually have to be like ordered online and brought over and shit. So you want some snow? Good morning, Willie. Good to see you. You go get some snow. Don't worry. I think we're all going to get some snow soon. You can easily mess up your credit if you aren't careful with one of those things. Exactly. And that's what I don't want to do. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, I'm pretty sure my credit score is already screwed up from the multiple fucking hospital visits that I've had with no medical insurance. So yeah, you know, it's just, I don't want to add to it. So yeah. You don't use credit cards anymore? Yeah, me neither. You had one in college, lost your job, and lived off of one for a while and can never get even. Yeah, exactly. Once you paid it off, you clipped it. Exactly. He's a lucky man to have me as his wife. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a good person. At least I like to think I am. All right, let's finish.
And coming together in hard times. Buffalo is known as the city of good neighbors, and when we go through trying times like this, I've learned that they really do come through, he said. Imagine being stuck in your car for 14 hours with your children and dog in the Buffalo blizzard. It's the survival story of a man from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Jack Ilunga said he and his 2 daughters, ages 6 and 16, along with their dog, were trapped in their car as the storm raged around them. It was shaking, the car, he told WTOP. As the car was running out of gas, Ilunga called his pastor and prayed, he said, before deciding to walk with his children and their dog through the storm. He put his 6-year-old daughter on his back for the 5-minute walk to shelter. Ilunga recalls thinking, I don't know if we're going to make it, but we pushed and pushed. Once they were inside, he said he was overcome with emotion. The first thing when I made to the shelter, I cried because I knew I could have died there with my kids, Ilunga said. The family made it by sleeping 2 nights in the shelter on top of trash bags that had been stuffed with clothes. They finally dug out their car and made it to Toronto to see family for Christmas. 7 more people in the city have died in the blizzard that hit western New York over the Christmas holiday, bringing the city's toll to 27, Mayor Byron Brown said this morning. He also said that toll is expected to rise as cleanup and rescue efforts continue. That is very sobering, he said on WBN 9:30 a.m. this morning. As of Monday, officials had confirmed 28 people had died in the storm. That included 27 in Erie County and 1 person in Niagara County. Today, Brown said some of the people who died in the city were found in snow banks, others in cars. Some were in their homes, he said. He also said that officials believe they have rescued all stranded drivers who needed help. The city now is trucking snow out of the city to clear more streets, he said. Some of the vehicles that were abandoned are being towed, he said. More than 100 National Guard members are in the Buffalo area helping in the cleanup efforts, Brown said. This was an act of nature, Brown said. Even with more personnel and equipment, this would be a very difficult storm to handle. Many stores, including all Wegmans and Tops locations in 2 counties, were closed Friday through Monday as the region got hammered by as much as 4 feet of snow. The New York Thruway remains closed from exit 46, Henrietta, to the Pennsylvania line. Another 2 to 3 inches is expected in the Buffalo area today, according to the National Weather Service. Temperatures are expected to warm above freezing by Wednesday. For days after snow started falling, the Buffalo area remained crippled on Monday by a devastating blizzard that left at least 28 dead and that officials said was the worst winter storm in more than 50 years. With the storm nearing its end, Buffalo residents started to venture out, particularly as their supplies of food ran low. But with many roads in western New York impassable, thousands still without power and more snow expected to continue falling through the end of the night on Monday. Officials said that conditions remained dangerous and that they expected the death toll could rise. This has been a very difficult and dangerous storm, Buffalo's mayor, Byron Brown, said at a news conference on Monday. It's been described as a once-in-a-generation storm. And everything that has been forecast, we have gotten in the city of Buffalo, and then some. A driving...
I think there was... Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay. So there was like an actual a news thing about it. And I wanted to show the news thing about it too, not just like this dude talking about all this stuff. So
Tonight,
here's this.
The city of Buffalo buried and unrecognizable as the death toll from a devastating deluge of fierce winds and heavy snow continues to rise. Officials reporting 27 deaths in Erie County, New York. Victims discovered in cars and snowbanks after the blistering blizzard brought even first responders to a standstill. Some residents dying from exposure, others lack of heat and cardiac events after working to clear snow.
We have been to a lot of wars together. And this blizzard is the one for the ages, certainly.
Did she just say we've been through a lot of wars together? And this is one for the ages? So are we in a war against Mother Nature? Is that what we're in? Is a war against Mother Nature? Is that what we're doing? That's crazy though. People having like heart attacks and stuff from shoveling snow and shit. That's scary.
It is the blizzard of the century.
The crisis far from over, as Dave McKinsley from NBC station WGRZ tells us.
One of the biggest problems remains clogged streets and roadways where cars were left abandoned during the height of the storm, making it impossible for plows and even emergency equipment to get down them.
Adding insult to injury, evidence of looting caught on camera.
I don't know how these people can even live with themselves.
The weekend's widespread storm claimed dozens more lives.
He said, I don't know how these people can even live with themselves. What are you talking about? These guys are dealing with like no electricity, no fucking heater. They're fucking suffering. Yeah, they're gonna go loot a little bit. They're gonna go loot a little bit. Welcome to capitalism. The only reason, I mean, to me, at least in my head, when it comes to like all this psychology books and stuff I've read and then my own experiences, the only reason I think personally that people steal is because they're lacking. You stop lacking, stop making people feel like they're living in austerity and they have no reason to fucking steal, except for maybe greediness and selfishness after that. But most of the time, it's just because people are living in austerity and they just want a little bit extra. Like, oh, well, maybe, we should stop putting in all this money for Ukraine and start taking care of our own people. Because, a bunch of people, like a bunch of cities don't have electricity right now because people are like shooting the electric power grid and shit. And, we're just dealing with so much stuff. And then all I can ever think about is like how much more money we giving to Ukraine while this shit's happening. Oh, that's what I thought.
Across the country, the Tisdale family was lucky to survive.
It could have been us.
Facing problems with power at home, the family tried to seek warmth at a nearby hotel, but within minutes on the road, got caught in whiteout conditions.
I seen the looks on my kids' faces, and I just felt so helpless at that moment. Like, I felt very helpless.
Thankfully, they were rescued by firefighters who welcomed the family of 6 into their firehouse for 3 days, including Christmas morning. While conditions are beginning to ease, snow is still falling in Buffalo, a city already blanketed in 4 feet.
Oh,
Up
poor
to 8 to
Buffalo.
12 inches is expected in the most persistent band area. This is not helpful.
The sweeping storm's timing stunting holiday travel nationwide. More than 14,000 flight cancellations since Friday, driving these winding lines today at customer service counters in Chicago.
It's a complete and utter zoo chaos. It's crazy.
and a logistical nightmare at baggage claims in Tampa and Houston. Some of the country's busiest airports seeing more than a third of flights canceled today. Southwest Airlines nixing more than 60% of its flights. NBC's Stephen Romo among the Southwest passengers impacted.
The phone system is down right now, but earlier they told us we couldn't get back until Friday. The line here for the ticket counter stretches all the way across the building, but the TSA line is all but deserted, giving you some indication of how many flights are actually getting out.
Frustrations among travelers everywhere mounting amid a holiday week marred by continued disruptions.
I'm just bewildered, I guess is the best word. This isn't what I wanted to spend my holiday doing.
All right, Emily Aketa joins us now live. Emily, I want to go back to that ongoing rescue situation in Buffalo. Authorities worried people could still be trapped in those frigid conditions.
Tom, that's right. Urgent search and rescue missions are playing out as we speak with the help of authorities at all levels. 400 national
So that number can actually even rise from that 57 to even higher because they're still looking for people. Jeez.
On the ground today, a travel ban remains in place in the city of Buffalo to prevent people from interfering with first responders' efforts. Remember, as snow continues to hammer the region tonight.
Damn, a travel city ban in Buffalo. That's a travel ban in Buffalo just because of all of that snow. That's insane. I mean, holy shit. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine. So the next story that happened this weekend on Christmas Eve, since we're talking about this weekend still, was so the new guy that's running, I guess he's like the new popular guy in the Republican Party, DeSantis, is has been for a couple of months now, deciding to send migrants to democratically owned areas into their homes, which it seems like, you know, some of those cities are actually doing really good to help take care of these people, proving to the Republicans, you know, this is just kind of like a tit for tat battle, because even if you like take away, you know, the Republicans being against the immigrants, if you even watch some of the news nowadays, like CNN and like the liberal, quote unquote liberal news, mainstream news, they talk about how the protection of the border needs to be protected, and like the whole Title 42 that's going on right now, the battle between ending it or keeping it. A lot of really bad things happened because Title 42 was around. A lot of people were literally came to the border and then sent right back to where they were again. No help, no help whatsoever, while we're, you know, doing what we do here in America to those countries to give them a push factor to go out of their country and a pull factor to come into our country. So, which push and pull factors you actually taught in high school, in history and government and economics. So these kids are learning push and pull factors of immigration, while there's actual like grown-ups out here literally fighting over, you know, like, we don't want the people in our country because they're going to steal our jobs and whatever else kind of bullshit they're saying. Instead of remembering that there's like literally 2 words from high school that you could have remembered, and that's push and pull. There's reasons why people immigrate. And I'm pretty sure immigration is something that's been going on a lot longer than we even realize. I mean, people, you know, for thousands and 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 thousands of years, people have been immigrating, been migrating. That's what they do. Jesus wasn't if he was a real person and he actually existed, he would have been an immigrant. So, you know, he migrated lots of places. Anyway, so it just seems like this is just another tit for tat. Hey, stop fighting. Good fucking God, cats. I can't handle you guys. Every fucking day, it's something new with you, Mr. Burton. Hey, I'm talking to you, sir. Yeah, you, fucker. Do you see him? He's attacking me. You stop it. Be a good boy. All right. So anyway, sorry. Fountainhead says the cold weather thickens the blood, coursing strokes and heart attacks. The cold making your blood thicken. Oh, Interesting. I did not know about that. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, because liquid freezes in cold. So, yeah, I guess that's, wow. That's scary. All right, I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so with the with the immigrants, and this whole thing, that situation is happening, it looks like DeSantis is still sending people, migrants, to democratically owned areas. This Christmas Eve, he sent a group of people to Kamala Harris's house. So here is the story about that.
Governor Greg Abbott's office is responding after 3 busloads of migrants were left out in the cold when they were dropped off in front of Vice President Kamala Harris's house in Washington, D.C. on Christmas Eve. No one was on hand to greet the migrants at the U.S. Naval Observatory. The buses carried between 110 and 130 people. Some were wearing T-shirts despite temperatures hovering around 15 degrees. Officials say the migrants were eventually taken to a church to spend the night.
That's the whole fucked up situation about the thing, is like DeSantis sent these guys to Kamala Harris's house where it was 15 degrees. They were down at the border where it's pretty decent weather right now. So they were in T-shirts, nothing, ready for the cold winter, and he just sends them right over. Like, how fucking dare you, Mr. DeSantis? Like, I'm pretty sure the Republicans are eating this shit up right now, but this is just so fucked up for you to do this, dude.
Today, a spokesman for Governor Abbott said the migrants willingly chose to go to Washington, D.C. and signed voluntary consent waivers that were available in multiple languages, and that the migrants agreed on the destination upon boarding.
Right. They agreed upon the destination of boarding because they thought that they were going to go to a democratically owned area where they probably said you're going to be taken care of there, not knowing that they were going to be dropped off on the fucking doorstep of somebody else's house in the middle of the fucking winter cold at nighttime. This should be illegal. Like, I don't think that Abbott, I don't think that DeSantis, is it DeSantis or is it Abbott? Abandoned children on the side of the road in below freezing temperature on Christmas Eve. Is it Abbott? Okay, well, these guys, these Republicans shouldn't be able to do this. This should be illegal. I mean, I'm all for bringing immigrants into America and helping them get the life that they want and they need, but tricking them into going somewhere where they're worse off, like where they're going to probably freeze to death if they don't get immediate help, to me, it's just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong.
The White House also responded with a spokesman writing, quote, Governor Abbott abandoned children on the side of the road in below freezing temperatures on Christmas Eve without coordinating with any federal or local authorities. This was a cruel, dangerous, and shameful stunt. On Christmas Day, the governor retweeted a post by the Texas Military Department. It featured a National Guard Major General detailing their work to secure the border in El Paso. The same area
there's our military. If they're not overseas blowing up other countries in the name of democracy, then they're keeping our borders from, or walling off our borders from allowing anybody in the country. So yeah, that's wild.
Has seen thousands of migrants cross in recent weeks in anticipation of the Title 42 coming to an end. The governor's retweet said he was grateful for the Guard working on Christmas Day.
You know what would be really, really cool is if somebody who was like an American citizen, okay, went down to like Mexico right at the border and then just walked up the border like an immigrant and just kept their mouth shut, didn't say anything, just went through the process to see how far they can get into the migration process, to see what they go through, through an American's eyes, like have an American videotaping it, pretending like they're an immigrant to do this, to see what happens. Because I think that would be a really, really good, a really good video to watch for sure. I think that would be awesome. You're not a sports person, but Stephen Smith warns, stop lady, about the Americans, about Ron DeSantis. He is ruthless and more competent than Donald Trump without the comedy show. I completely agree. Yep. Ron DeSantis is a human trafficker. That's what it feels like he's doing. Like, you're tricking these people into thinking that they're having a better life and then they're leaving them out in the cold to die. Like, that's technically trafficking, right? Technically. And then Greg, yeah, you're right. And same, okay, so Greg Abbott and DeSantis are doing the same thing over there. Just they're both doing it. Grateful for the Texas National Guard serving our state and country on the border on Christmas Day. No, that's not how it goes. It's unconscionable to use people as pawns, period. Exactly. It's fucking wrong what he's doing. And I hate agreeing with the fucking Democrats on this one, but I mean, come on now. Like what they're doing is really fucking wrong. So, I mean, even right here. So, Amy was talking about it as well, too.
In Texas, the city of El Paso extended an emergency declaration over the
Let me
weekend
make
as
this a little bit
temperatures plunged into
faster.
the teens and shelters reached capacity. The declaration came as hundreds of migrants spent the Christmas holiday outdoors on the Mexican side of the border despite freezing temperatures. They were unable to cross to the U.S. to seek asylum after the Supreme Court last week ordered the Biden administration to continue the Trump-era Title 42 policy, which has been used to expel some 2 million people from the border. This is a Venezuelan asylum seeker speaking from Ciudad Juarez on Christmas Eve.
I would like to spend Christmas in a place where it is not cold. I would really like to have shelter, just as everyone here would like to spend Christmas under a roof, because the cold is strong.
Hundreds of asylum seekers also slept outside
Look
in
at them.
freezing weather in El Paso, Texas.
Look at this guy. He's in shorts, flip-flops, and socks. That's it. That's all he's got. He's got a sweater and shorts. This guy's getting dumped out there in 50-degree weather. That's fucking sad. I can't believe these people.
Meanwhile, more than 100 asylum seekers arrived on buses outside the residence of Vice President Kamala Harris on Christmas Eve as temperatures in Washington, D.C. dropped to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. They were the latest migrants sent by Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott to cities led by Democrats. Immigrant rights activist Jen Kaufman said the people seeking asylum were quickly given blankets and brought to a shelter by members of the D.C. Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid Network. She added this was intended to be a cruel stunt by Greg Abbott, but people are working around the clock to treat these families with the dignity they deserve. In Afghanistan, the Taliban's decree that women can no longer work for non-government.
So yeah, that's what's happening out there. That's freaking sad to me that they're even having to deal with this on Christmas. Like, this is so fucked up for people. DeSantis and Greg should be removed from their office as governor. I agree. Absolutely 100% agree. I don't think that, but what sucks is like the entire Republican Party is just going to be totally okay with this guy doing this because that's just what they do, you know? I mean, look at this. What's that new guy that's been running around saying he's like done all this stuff, and now we just find out that he hasn't done any of that stuff, and that he had like $700,000 donated to his campaign to win. And where did all that come from? You know, he's like a guy who barely even made it by in his own regular life. How did he get that much money? Probably from the Republicans, but he lied. They don't care. Republicans can pretty much do anything and get away with it. So, actually what's really funny is, a Republican that got messed with, which was freaking hilarious, this weekend, or I believe it was yesterday, was Pierce Morgan, because his Twitter account got hacked yesterday. And man, just a bunch of really, really fucked up messages. It was fucking hilarious. Hold on. Let me do it the right way. That way I can, I hope I can do it the right way. Oh, well, let's read it. Anyway, so Pierce Morgan's Twitter account hacked with a series of offensive messages. It looked like Boris Johnson got his too. But anyway, okay, so this 57-year-old yesterday, don't care about all of your stuff. His account was taken over by posts taking aim at various celebrities, including the royal family, which was hilarious. The hackers, who later branded themselves the Chuckling Squad, also changed Morgan's username on the account, which had over 8 million followers at one point, to Pierce, I think it was like Pierce Cock or something like that. The group threatened to leak direct messages with a string of high-profile names in the now deleted post during the 50-minute attack. So there's his account being wiped. Several other accounts were similarly targeted around 3 a.m. UK time before the messages were scrubbed in an incident that raised further questions about Twitter's security since being taken over by Elon. In the wake of the takeover at the end of October, researchers reported spikes in hate speech, and some users began migrating to other social media platforms, whatever. More than half of the company's global workforce. Then an ultimatum was issued to those remaining. Elon said either work really hard or go. Following an incident where a number of journalists had their accounts suspended over the coverage of Mr. Musk, which he was again heavily criticized, the Twitter owner posted a poll asking if he should step down. why are you just showing me that part, dudes? Like, I don't understand. So also Daily Mail covered it as well. Let me bring up the Daily Mail one. I don't know why that clicked on. Okay, anyway. Let me exit out of all of this crap. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Piers Morgan Twitter account is hacked by foul-mouthed troll calling for Somalian territorial integrity. This was what really caught my attention. I guess they were hackers from Somalia and they wanted like Somalian territorial integrity. They're like, UK, get the fuck out of here, which I thought that was pretty funny. Like, you're going to hack into these guys' systems to tell people like what the UK is doing to Somalia. I actually I'm here for the pettiness. Like, I'm here for it. So Piers Morgan's Twitter account was hacked by foul-mouthed trolls, tweeted a number of racial slurs while calling for the territorial integrity of Somalia. Twitter users, including his followers, were surprised to see him tweet this stuff. It soon became apparent that his account was hacked by a group called the Chuckling Squad. The hack went on for almost an hour before the page was wiped. So here's one of them, one of the tweets. Please recognize the territorial integrity of Somalia. All this land belongs to the Somali people. Hands off Somalia, and hashtag Somalia, which I thought that was fucking great. I think it's beautiful. Hackers changed his account name multiple times. Fans and followers quickly responded, some petitioning Twitter to address the hack. Some even interacted with the hacked account. So here's his account being wiped right there. The hack also targeted celebrities like former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. I don't understand how he's a celebrity. He's supposed to be a politician, not a celebrity. Very interesting use of words, Daily Mail. That's disgusting. Caused chaos on the platform. A message stating this tweet is unavailable replaced offending messages. The bio and images were also removed, effectively ending the hack. But the episode serves to highlight the importance of securing one's account. The group purportedly behind the attack, Chuckling Squad, is a group of hackers who gained notoriety in 2019 for taking over a number of high-profile Twitter accounts, including those belonging to various celebrities and public figures. The hackers have claimed to be part of the group, Chuckling Squad, but is yet to be confirmed. The group has claimed responsibility for a number of high-profile hacks in the past and have used SIM swapping attacks as a method in which a hacker takes control of a victim's phone number by tricking or coercing a phone company into transferring the number to a SIM card that the hacker controls. Boris Johnson is Britain's smarter, more moderate version of, yeah, I know. I always say, like, if you put a picture of Donald Trump right next to Boris Johnson, they look like twins. Like, Boris Johnson's just the English version of Trump. Like, he's got the skin and the blonde, bleach blonde hair and just, full of shit. I personally think that Boris Johnson is like literally a clone, an English clone of of Trump. So some more stuff. I actually got some screenshots of what Piers Morgan was saying, or what these hackers were saying in Piers Morgan's name before they got deleted. And so other people on Twitter actually got some. So some of hacking into Piers Morgan's Twitter account. So this is when they changed the name to LOL. It says, Piers, you're a fucking skid, my boy. Let's 1v1. Could you imagine, like, you're like hacking into Piers Morgan's Twitter account and you're just like, the first thing you say is, let's 1v1, bitch. Oh, if you're a gamer, you totally understand that. J equals way too elegant, currently sucking on Top G's, aka Tate's balls. Because I think Andrew Tate just went on to Piers Morgan's show this week for like the second time in a month. So I think this person really hates Andrew Tate, which is really funny to me. Shout out to DAP. Piers got down by Quay from Rock Spot, hackered Omega lol. Fucking internet trolls are the best. And then he says at the end, I like Andrew Tate's cock. Oh God, some of those were really fucking hilarious. I think I got another one as well. Oh, so one of the guys that I was showing you that picture of Somalia, he also shared a picture of himself too. So here it is right here. It says that Somali dude really did in Piers Morgan on Twitter by hacking him all the way from Somalia. See, if you open this up, this is where they change it to Piers Khan. And so he did a selfie. So here's the hacker. I mean, it probably isn't. It's probably just some picture they took, but still, like, that shit's hilarious. And then here's the Somali tweet. So I thought this was absolutely hilarious. That these guys just got away with this and was able to do it. Yeah, it fucking sucks. Okay, I understand. People are going to be like, oh, we need security and all this stuff, but whatever. Like, these guys, you know, whatever. You can't tell me that all of us haven't been hacked before in our own things. So yeah, at least there was some entertainment to it. They got it within an hour, so it's totally fine. I thought it was pretty hilarious to see somebody in there named Piers Morgan saying all this stuff, knowing, like, at first you're like, is this really fucking him that's saying this? Oh my God. And then finding out it's just hackers, you're just like, okay, this is interesting. This is funny. It's not going to last long, so let's enjoy it while we can. Oh, shit. Okay. That's that on that. I'm going through them fast today so that way I can get some clips out today. So yeah. So this weekend there was another attack on a power grid in Washington. So up by where Amber lives, it looks like they got it restored. So this was put out yesterday, December 26th. Power was restored to thousands of homes in Washington state following damage at a power substation. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think it was one in Texas, I believe, or somewhere out there, one of those country states. Country states as in, like, you know, redneck honky tonk, not like actual full country. You know what I mean? Happened a couple of weeks ago, I think, one. And so this weekend there was actually more than just the one in Washington. I think there was a couple more as well. So it looks like people are attacking power grids. I guess this is like the latest thing. They were saying that it's possibly from people who hate the government, you know, that aren't happy with the government, thinks that, you know, there needs to be more freedom. So this is kind of like their attack, and they're all online. So here, wait, let's
responded to call of a burglary. This morning at 5:26 a.m., our deputies responded to call of a burglary, a commercial burglary at one of the Tacoma Public Utilities substations out here in the Graham area. When the deputies got there, there was nobody on scene, but they saw that the fence area had been broken into. In this one, the suspects cut one of the locks on the fence area, made their way inside and caused damage to the substation, which ultimately knocked out power for a large amount of residents in the county. Just after that, we were told that there was another substation in Graham, closer to Graham-Kapowson High School, that also had their power knocked out. Having those two incidents and knowing that they were kind of around the same time, one of our sergeants called Puget Sound Energy, who also provides power out here, and asked them if they had any power outages last night, and they did. At 2:39 a.m., power outages reported in that facility. It looks like, again, the fenced area was broken into and vandalism was done to the equipment inside. All three happened in the middle of the night on Christmas Day, causing power outages. Nothing was stolen from either or any of those facilities. So there's a good possibility they are related. We're going to be investigating to see if this was coordinated by a specific group or people. We are aware of other incidents that occurred in Oregon and Southern Washington, as well as the incidents from North Carolina earlier in this winter time. So
North Carolina, that's where it was.
Looking into, again, an open investigation, can't share very many details, but we are aware of those things, and we're going to see if any of this stuff is related to that.
All right.
It is ugly.
No, stop.
Right now on many of the streets.
Why do you do this to me?
I have an emergency vehicle with super 4x4.
You're just going to play the ad, huh? You're not even going to let me talk. There we go. Yay, I fixed it. So power's back on in thousands of homes. It was unknown whether the incidents were connected. I think they changed the title of this because what I was reading last night on it, it was literally calling it vandalism. See, even right here, like, okay, so up at the top, I know you guys can't see what's up at the top, but even like the actual the tab itself, like, you know how you can read the tabs at the top of when you're on like Google and stuff, you can read the tabs so you know which one is which. It even says right here, like, power restored at vandalized Washington state substations. So vandalizing. So these are Americans who are against the government, you know, like, I don't know, some sort of, you know, prepper anarchists, most likely, that are doing this, and they're calling it vandalization. Now, right here, they changed the name. They said this last night said power restored at vandalized Washington substation, but on the title here, they changed it to say power restored to thousands of homes in Washington. So they were just calling this vandalization yesterday, which is bullshit. Okay, so here it even says right there, stop it, lady. You're not getting up here. Just chill. Jesus fucking Christ. So the attacks on Sunday cut power to more than 14,000 utility customers. Burglaries were reported at 2 substations belonging to Tacoma Public Utilities and 2 belonging to Puget Sound Energy. Deputies saw forced entry into the fenced area at all 4 substations. Equipment was vandalized, but nothing had been taken from the substations, the department said. At this time, deputies are conducting the initial investigation. They don't have any suspects in custody, which they didn't in North Carolina either, because it's white people. So they're not it's mostly likely white people that are doing this. That's why they're like, oh, I don't know who's doing it. It's known that if there's any motives or this was a coordinated attack on the power system. Somebody online was saying that this is coordinated, that these guys are like on some Reddit thing or some 4chan thing, talking to each other, making sure that this happens all over the country, making sure that this, to me, it sounds like a terrorist organization that they're doing, like domestic terrorism to me. But, you know, we're going to call it vandalism because it's a bunch of honky-tonk white dudes. So, you know how that goes. Power was restored to all affected customers by Monday afternoon. They deployed a mobile station or substation in the final hours of restoration. Puget Sound Energy also restored power to the customers on Tuesday morning. They're calling it a targeted attack on substations. Okay. Authorities have not said what type of vandalism was involved, but a fire was reported at one of the substations belonging to this Puget Sound Energy. Tacoma Public Utilities was warned by federal authorities early this month of a security alert on their electric grid. So they were already warned, the utility said in a statement. Yeah, well, you know, our government really likes to get pre-warned about things, and then they don't do anything until after it's already done because, you know, that's how we work. So, which I you know, could never see it any other way. Like, what are they going to do? Some kind of pre-crime shit? I don't think so. Is it Puget Sound? Puget Sound. I'm trying. I just see pug and I'm like, oh, like a pug, like a doggy, a Puget Sound. Okay, Puget Sound. Puget Sound Energy. That's the worst. You're going to have P-U-G-E-T as your name, as your company, and you're going to name it Puget. That's so gross. Puget. Puget Sound. Okay, Puget. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate you, Natalie. You're awesome. The 4 attacks follow other warnings and advisories from federal officials of possible domestic terrorism attacks. Oh, now they're calling it domestic terrorism attacks. Okay. On the U.S. power grid. Similar attacks have been reported in Washington, Oregon, North Carolina. A large outage that began on December 3rd cut power to tens of thousands of people in a targeted attack. Days before the incident, the Department of Homeland Security issued a bulletin through its National Terrorism Advisory System warning that lone offenders and small groups may attack various targets, including critical infrastructure. Yeah, that's lone offenders and small groups. They're organizing in some sort of like background chatting area to where they can all like be in cahoots with each other. This is what's happening. I'm pretty sure what's happening is like these, like I was saying earlier, these redneck honky tonk guys are probably taking tips that they've learned from, you know, our battle in Afghanistan for the last 20 years and how they were able to do terrorist attacks over here through chats and stuff. I think that's what they're doing. I mean, that's pretty much how everybody organizes, even, you know, small progressive groups and stuff. So this is how it gets started. In January, DHS warned that domestic extremism has been developing. I'm pretty sure over the last 22 years of school shootings, that's domestic terrorism has been developing extremely a lot. You're just caring about the infrastructure because it's the power grid, because it's part of your economy. But if it's children's lives in schools, it doesn't matter. Like, we just go put some more security guards in schools, put some metal detectors in schools, and get yourself or your kid like some bulletproof backpacks, and, you know, and arm the teachers too, and things are good. But you mess with the electricity grid where companies and CEOs own that shit, man, it's fucking terrorism now. Like, come on. How are you not going to say that, or how are you going to say that the domestic extremism has been developing? Domestic extremism has already been developing and has developed, and is just it just sat quiet for a while, and it's grown back again. And a lot of these kids, you know, in the last 20 years that were part of school shootings are all now grown up. So, you know, that's all they've ever lived, is being in fear of going to school every day. I'm getting off topic. Sorry. Oregon Public Broadcasting, Seattle reported earlier this month that numerous power companies had reported 6 separate attacks on electrical substations in Washington and Oregon in the previous weeks. So yeah, that's that on the electric, the power grid things. Like I said, I don't want to get too far deep into it because, you know, we can sit here and compare apples to oranges on this all day long. This is just, you know, even to slightly even, you know, I'm not trying to say like defend these people that are cutting off power grids to people, but like, you leave people in austerity for so long, this is what's going to happen. You know, you're going to ignore the fact that people have been fighting back for austerity for, God, the last 50 years or so. But you're just now noticing that people are fighting back austerity when it's white people that are doing it. Like, when are we going to stop this? You know, this like racist media coverage of certain things, and how we say one situation is one thing and another situation is another thing. Like, if they're conservatives and they're Christian, like they're just angry people, you know, and they need to be helped. But if it's anybody else, like, it could even be white people too that are like just super activists, you know, liberal type activists that are wanting to, you know, better the world, help the environment, and they're known as terrorists. But, you know, a guy can, you know, shoot up an electric grid and just known as, you know, vandalism. It's vandalism. Even I have just even proof of this. There was recently here on the Axios, I guess is the name of it, did an article right here, just to even prove my point. They did an article right here on Axios. They said a Cop City activist charged, he was actually charged with domestic terrorism. So here, let's read through this. So 5 activists arrested during Tuesday's clash with law enforcement at the proposed site of Atlanta's new public safety academy have been charged with domestic terrorism. Why it matters: the domestic terrorism charges are the most serious to date since activists started building camps and living among the trees more than a year ago in the dense city-owned forest of DeKalb County. Okay, so these people are just like literally living in the forest, so that way the police don't build a public safety academy. Okay, up here in my mountains, we've done the same thing, except for against religious people. There was a church out here that wanted to buy this huge swath of land, tear down all the fucking trees, and build a mega church out here. And we fucking fought that shit. And it was really, really hard to fight that. But this is what these people do. They don't think of, you know, nature as anything more than just more land to buy up, you know, while we're ruining the Amazon forest. Exactly. Oh, so you know about it. Stop Cop City. Very nice. Very nice. I'm just learning about this. So Tuesday, according to the GBI, a task force of local, state, and federal law enforcement attempted to remove barricades installed by activists to block access to the property. Several people threw rocks at police cars and attacked EMTs outside the neighboring fire station with rocks and bottles. They're protesting. Oh, well. I'm pretty sure that activists have been hit with way harder things than just rocks and bottles. But anyway, the task force members used various tactics to arrest individuals who were occupying makeshift tree houses. All right. They were making tree houses. All right. So supporters of the resistant effort who have dubbed the proposed complex Cop City allege those tactics include police firing pepper balls, tear gas, chemical irritants at the activists who have been making makeshift camping platforms in trees. At a press conference yesterday morning near the property, supporters said the resistance would continue. I think there are forest defenders who will continue to defend the forest. That means that civil disobedience. That means rallies, demonstrations. That means all the tactics that we can use. According to a release from Stop City ATL, police held at gunpoint and arrested a community member who supports the effort but isn't involved with the encampment while they walked along the trail in the woods. See, they're just being bully assholes. Just absolute assholes. As of 11 a.m. Wednesday, according to reports replayed to the Atlanta Community Press Collective, the DeKalb police were trying to persuade the remaining occupiers to leave. Persuade. I love how they use the word persuade. So what do you mean by the words persuade? Does that mean like what you were talking about up here, the tear gas canisters, the pepper balls? Or is that your meaning of persuasion, guys? Because I hate your wording. The name and charges of the people arrested include, here's all the people that were arrested. Look at this, 22, 25, 25, 20, 22 years old. These are all little fucking Gen Zers who seriously understand that their own future is in danger because the governments and CEOs and owners of corporations do not care about whether or not people live or not. They only care about buying up as much land as they can to make as much money as they can, to profit as much as they can, and screw everybody else. These kids just want this fucking land to stay free. They just want it to be natural. What's fucking wrong with that? They're worried about their own futures while there's, 50s, 40s, and 50-year-old police officers who are about to retire and don't give a shit about these kids. These are all fucking kids, all right? But no, we never listen to kids because kids, they don't care about kids. So, because kids don't matter to them. Yeah. So that's what they're doing. Like people, take down power grids and it's just known as vandalism. But people build tree houses and try to protect the land are charged with domestic terrorism. This is that back assward bullshit that we live in our country. Like this fucking American laws and justice is just ridiculous. It's disgusting what these guys are doing out there. So what's this picture say? Forest defense is self-defense. That's right. ATL force. Okay. So yeah, that's how we treat activists who just care about our nature and our land. Like look at what happened with, the Dakota pipelines. I always talk about that. Look at what happened with Keystone right now. Keystone just recently fucking leaked really bad into the waters of people. So, we're just going to keep giving and giving to these rich people and ignoring everybody else. And obviously turning anybody that's actually trying to save the environment and save their future is going to be known as now domestic terrorists for the rest of their life. But, you can go ahead and take out a power grid in an entire city and you're just known as a vandalizer. So gotta love the American justice system. It's just so perfect. So perfect. I was being facetious there if you didn't know. Let's see what else. I guess I could do one more, maybe. I literally went through these fast today. I'm proud of myself. Thank you guys for sitting this out with me today and going through these. I know it's like a lot of information to take on really quickly, but it's actually kind of cool to be able to do this. Andrew, no. Okay, so I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about this, where what were we talking about? How Balenciaga did those really weird, disgusting children ads that had like bondage stuff all over it. And how just disgusting that whole situation was. And it made you think, like, if this is how the company is, then how are the owners of the company? Like, what are they like? What are they doing? What are their what is their family dealing with if they're, if these owners are allowing this kind of stuff to happen? And it was really interesting. This came out on the 13th of December, so a couple of weeks ago. So I'm a little bit late on it. But this lady named Alexandra Gucci Zarini, she's an heiress of the Gucci family, which is owned by the Kering Group, who Kering Group also owns Balenciaga. Same, yeah. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. She's actually suing her family, which I thought was really interesting. So here's the tweet about it, and about what she had to deal with. It's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So we'll watch this, and then that should be it for the rest of the day. Or at least for this show for now until I clip up later. So yeah, here it is. Alexandra Gucci Zarini, heiress of the Gucci family, which is owned by the Kering Group like Balenciaga, is suing her family.
My name is Alexandra Zarini. I am filing a lawsuit against my stepfather, mother, grandmother, and others because I was sexually abused by my stepfather, Joseph Ruffalo, from the age of 6 years old. My mother, Patricia Gucci, and grandmother, Bruna Palombo, did not protect me. They did not shield me. They allowed it to happen. But I am coming forward publicly today because as hard as this is for me, I feel it is my duty to expose the misconceptions about child sexual abuse and to raise awareness that every single day, we as a society are failing to protect the most vulnerable and innocent among us.
Yes, we are. We are absolutely, because Americans keep blaming it on the wrong things instead of actually looking. It's like, what's really funny is it's always I think about this a lot too when it comes to like protecting children and stuff. And it's really interesting is the fact that it's always the Christians, the Christian conservatives that are always like, protect the children, keep them away from, groomers and all this stuff. Like trans people are groomers and stuff, like, while they're out there with their little Gucci hat that they had to get because it's so expensive and cool, because that's how these white people live nowadays. Anyway, that's a side topic, not even related really, but like they'll go around saying that protect the children, save the children, do all this for the children, but then they don't even realize like most of the time it's usually their own people that are doing this to the children, like the Catholic religion. Like the people that are super religious are always the ones that are turning their blind eye to the actual disgustingness. And why are these groups like Balenciaga and Gucci like such big, huge, famous companies? Like, why are people still even shopping for them if this is the kind of stuff that they're doing? Like, protect the children then. Really fucking protect the children if that's what you're gonna do.
Our children. If you think this doesn't happen here in Beverly Hills, then you should know that my perpetrator still lives in California, spends time at the Bel Air Country Club, and volunteers in your children's hospitals. This is not something that only happens to other families, in other neighborhoods, or other countries. It is everywhere and happens to children in all countries, all states, all ethnic backgrounds, and all neighborhoods. I'm also speaking out because when I was abused and sexually assaulted, I had no one to protect me, no one to save me, and no one who did anything about it. This is far too common. There needs to be accountability for those people who look away and who don't stop child sexual abuse from happening.
Yep.
That inaction is costing us lives and robbing children of their future. Once children have been abused, they will struggle to come forward because they believe they will be judged.
Yeah, because most of the time these children, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time these children are harmed by their own family members. There's even like really popular sayings of, do you have that uncle You know, I just saw somebody on TikTok the other day where they were like, do you have that uncle? Have you said anything? And this girl stitched it and was like, that uncle is my dad. And I no longer, like, I told the family everything and they didn't believe me. Like, these people don't even get believed. Like, this woman right here tried to tell her mom about what her stepdad was doing to her. And her mom kept it secret and was like, don't say anything. Just keep it quiet. Like, that's another problem too, is like, they go out there and they're like, protect the children, protect the children. Well, at home, they have an uncle that's doing this to their children. And they're like, no, let's just keep it quiet because, you know, that's uncle. That's uncle. We don't want to bother him.
But it is the perpetrators and those who protect them that need to be judged, not the survivors. Survivors of child sexual abuse, myself included, will tell you that this is one of the worst things that can happen to you. You lose your childhood, and you fight against the painful legacy abuse leaves with you your entire life. In my late teens and early 20s, I experimented with drugs for a couple of years to help deal with the memories and the trauma of my abuse. It took me many years to become more grounded in who I was.
This poor girl. Yeah, you have two of those uncles, Brandy. I got really lucky. I don't have any uncles like that, or my brothers, you know, nothing like that. If they were, I best believe I would be saying some shit. But yeah, no. I did when I was younger. I had he wasn't really my uncle. More of like, you know, I guess it's part of my childhood, so I didn't really appropriate it. But my family had an Indian shaman in our family. His name was Hank. And I don't think there was anything, like, I don't think he ever did anything. I don't think that he was ever like one of those uncles. He always wore sweatpants all the time, and it just made me feel weird because, you know, sweatpants, they kind of show it off. So I was like, you know, 10, 11, 12 at the time, and I'm just like, this is weird. Why is this guy always wearing sweatpants? I think it was just my own like fear of like not wanting to get. I've always been very aware of that. Like, I don't want to even get myself involved in those kind of situations. So I've always been super overly aware of my surroundings ever since I was a child. So that to me, I don't know why it still sticks out in my head of like he was wearing sweatpants all the time. But it still to this day sticks out of my head. Like, I know he wasn't like doing anything because he never did anything to me or my sister. She's never said anything like that. It's just the weird, creepy feeling that I got from him because of the sweatpants. I don't know why, but yeah, that's pretty much as close as I've ever gotten with the family stuff. And I'm pretty sure I'm very outspoken. So if there was anybody in my family like that, best fucking believe, like, your ass would be done. I had an uncle, but he passed away a couple of years ago in a motorcycle accident. So I don't even really have an uncle anymore. So yeah, you have an uncle like that too, Les Bones? Jesus Christ, man. Those motherfuckers would be done for, man. I gave my mom the stink eye this weekend just because she was being like a horrible grandma to my kid and a horrible mom. Well, she was being a great grandma to my kid, being a horrible mom to me. And I fucking went off on her this weekend about it. Like, we had a really, really, really big talk. And like, I was giving her stink eyes at first. And like, my brother-in-law came up to me halfway through Sunday, like, who made mom pissed off today? And I'm like, it's me, you know? So if I had an uncle like that in my family, best believe, like, you would be getting the shit from me. Absolutely. Like, I don't fucking think so, bro. I would be watching you like a hawk at every fucking family dinner that you got invited to. And then I would make sure that you didn't get invited to any more. I would be up in like the family group chat, like, is everybody coming to the holidays this Christmas? And I'll be like, yeah, except for Uncle George. He ain't coming. Right in the chats. Like, I don't give a fuck. Exactly, Holly. Spotlight that motherfucker. Make him feel like he's a piece of shit. I don't even care. Like, I don't wish that I have somebody like that in my family, but sometimes I wish I did, just so I can prove to people that you can be strong enough to defend, you know, your family against this one loser, you know? So I always wish, like, people had, because what it is more like a fear, you know, you're afraid of how the family is going to judge you. But if nobody ever stands up against this person, then this person's just going to get away with this until they die and never have to face judgment for it. You know, I don't believe in heaven and hell to where people have to face the judgment afterwards. And that's what a lot of these people think. They're like, oh, he's a bad uncle, but he's going to have to face his judgment in hell when he dies. Like, no, fuck that, because there's no proof that any of that's going to happen, that they're going to face the judgment. He needs to face that judgment now. He or she, they need to face that judgment absolutely right now. Like, you can't live out the rest of your life thinking that you can get away with this forever. Not going to happen. So probably one of the worst people you've ever known. Yeah. And it's even happening in the Gucci thing, you know, and look at how rich these people are. And she even said it herself in this video, like her abuser is living right now free in California, probably making a buttload of money, living the high elitist life because of, you know, Balenciaga and Gucci, being the heiress, you know, being a family of Gucci, probably living the good life, still probably getting away with it, you know, and probably Jeff Epsteining his fucking life away. Just, you know, exactly. Cape Socialist, good to see you. Hey, I'm almost done. I got about 4 or 5 more minutes left of the show, but thank you for stopping by today. It was really good to see you. And I really loved your pictures on Twitter. Oh my goodness. I see that you guys have been doing more and more and more stuff. You guys, seems like you guys are like really getting out there now. So, really starting to pick up speed even more. I'm really excited for you guys. I wish I knew some more people like in Africa. I swear, Cape, if I ever find through me streaming and somebody in the comments saying that they're from South Africa as well, I'm definitely going to hook you up with them, because I think that would be amazing. Like, just to, you know, see you guys get bigger, because I've been watching the news too and seeing America getting re-involved in the wanting of helping of the African continent. I'm just like, holy shit, you guys. Like, yeah, I like, the one thing I thought of in my head was, if there was one thing that American government should never step foot on and try to help again, it's fucking Africa. Like, we should not, after what we've done to them over the last, you know, few hundred years, like, But if there's like regular people like me that can hook you up with regular people out there that can help other people better their lives in the most activist, boots on the ground, mutual aid sort of way, like what you guys are all doing out there, I'm definitely going to hook you up. You guys are just astonishing and inspiring. That's the word I was trying to find. You guys are inspiring. You guys just make my heart melt every time you post pictures and talk about the new stuff. I love you all out there. So but that's that on the Alexandra Gucci and the whole, you know, blindsiding of conservatives and half of the country, of like blaming you know, the trans the trans groups for being these groomers and stuff, when they're not really the groomers. It's usually your family members or your church members, the church leaders and stuff. Like, it's that saying that I always used to say, or that I still do, that, which is wild because I learned it in church, is why point your finger at somebody when you have 3 pointing back? Or why worry about the splinter in someone else's eye when you have a log in your own? Which I think the fingers kind of really do, because you're pointing one finger at somebody, but you've got these 3 pointing back at you. So I always thought that that was a really good way of saying that. Like, stop judging other people when you're with your one finger, when you've got 3 of them pointing back at you, that you should really maybe look into your own life and see what's going on around you, to make sure that, you know, if everybody did that, if everybody in the country did that, worried about, when it comes to at least the grooming aspect and all of the you know, this protecting the children, if they just stopped pointing fingers at everybody else and everybody looked at their own situation, maybe things could actually change and we can get some help. But our country is just full of pointers. That's all we do. We just want to point at people and blame everything on everyone else, which is extremely narcissistic, which I've said multiple times too. Our country is extremely narcissistic. So it's just crazy to me that the stuff goes on while, you know, conservatives go around and Christians go around saying that it's, you know, the trans community or the LGBTQ plus community, you know, like when like these drag shows, you know, that's another thing I was watching. I think the Amazing Atheist did a really good piece on the grooming aspect with the drag shows and stuff. And he showed some really good pictures that the conservatives do. I mean, there was pictures of a family with kids. It looked like they were in Vegas with a couple of girls that said like, fuck Trump or something, or no, not fuck Trump. Sorry. Let's go Brandon or something like that. You know, it was a for Trump thing with 2 girls with like booty shorts on and nylons. Or people take their kids to, there's kid menus at Hooters. So, you know, that kind of like, they allow like what those women wear when they're wearing that stuff around those kids, it's literally just a pair of underwear that they're wearing, maybe sometimes nylons, like a single pair of nylon, like not even like Spanx like you wear for cheerleading, which are really thick. They're just nylons. That's all they wear. And then that's all you're seeing. So you're really seeing things when you go to Hooters, or where you see these girls, you know, out there in Vegas with their like little signs and stuff for you to pay to take photos and stuff. Like that's how is that not grooming and showing children real stuff? Because when you go to drag shows, most of these like a lot of these people that do these drag shows, like when they put on the women's suit, they're not actually like, a lot of these drag people, these drag queens are not trans. They're men in real life. Like they're just normal men. They just love makeup. They're really good at dressing up and cosplaying. That's pretty much what it is. Like they're LARPing, live action role play. And when they wear these outfits, like let's say because I've been to one drag show where one of them wore, it was like a cat suit, but it was like a long sleeve bathing suit. So, you know, the butt was sticking out. But the thing is about these drag queens is when they wear stuff like that, there's not just a pair of nylons and their underwear. So when people are watching it, you're seeing about 2 to 3 pairs of nylons, even probably Spanx to make it match the color of your skin. Then you've got the padding underneath. Like they have full body padding, like to give them the waist and hips and butt and everything. That's all padding. And when they wear the tops, there's full on like what is it, like silicone tops to make it look like, you know how like those busts are in like stores where you can like buy clothing, they have those busts. It's like that. It's like from the neck to the belly, and it's a bust. So it's like a Barbie doll cover where it's got boobs right there but no nipples or anything, so that way you can wear a dress or something over it to make it look like you're a woman. They're so fucking covered, you can't even see shit. So how is it that we're grooming children and showing children these kind of, you know, that they're showing children this naughty, nasty stuff during drag shows when they're more covered, like 100% more covered in drag shows than girls at Hooters? Girls at Hooters just wear nylons and those orange booty shorts. That's it. That butt cheeks that you're seeing hanging underneath those booty shorts, that's their real fucking butt cheeks. When you're looking at a drag queen and they got a butt cheek, you know, they got like the little slits of the butt cheeks right there. It's fucking padding that's been sewn like that to make it look like a real butt. It's not even real. You're not seeing shit. You're not seeing anything. These are men underneath these costumes. It's a costume, and it's really good costumes to make it look like you're a woman. It's LARPing. It's cosplay. That's what most of the time that they're doing is cosplaying. So anyways, that's what really pisses me off, is like this poor woman, this poor Gucci lady. Yeah, she's reliving the privileged life, but she's really going out there trying to get you guys to see, like, look into your own fucking family. Literally look into your own family and look into your own friends and your own circles. If everybody did that, then we could probably find out what the real problem is, instead of blaming it on things and people that don't even have anything to do with that. So you've been to plenty of drag shows from your hometown and worked with 2 straight young men who did drag. That's a lot of the drag people that I have met are men. They're not even gay. They're straight. They just really, 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 really love dress up. They love makeup. They love art. It's a creativity thing is what it is. I make graphics. I love makeup too. I mean, I'm a girl, but I love doing different types of makeup styles. I love making graphics for people. I love video editing. That's just my scope of creativity in my head that I have channeled. They just have done it with really good makeup skills and really good dress up skills. And yeah, they're usually just straight guys that are really, really good with makeup. So yeah, you need a true African to save us all. Like, gross, you're gross. Logan was really pretty in drag. So yeah, most drag queens are more covered. Exactly. So yeah, no, Les Bones, we don't need a true African to save us like Elon. That's disgusting. If anything, those type of Africans need to fucking take a seat for real. Like for real. Talk about fucking privilege from Africa. While actual, like, you know, the people that are descendants of slaves that are here in America now are like living in poverty and austerity. But Elon, because he's a white African, he can get away with being rich. it just shows you what's happening in Africa and what's been happening in Africa, especially with all the apartheids and stuff like that. White people went over there. They took slaves from Africa. A lot of white people stayed there so they could take the land from all the blacks out there. And here's Elon Musk coming to America, making all this kinds of money just to show that how amazingly well the white people are doing when they go to Africa, and they're, leaving the black people in the dirt just like they're doing here in America too. Like, you can't tell me there's still not racism in America, and us being still in Africa, treating them the same as if we were in America. So it's disgusting how they're being treated. So yeah. So that's my show today. I'm 5 minutes over. I'm talking today, so a lot. I'll probably be putting up clips up in a little bit once I get them all clipped up from the show. I'm not sure if I don't think Warren is doing a show today. I think he's probably doing. I know we're doing the New Year's Eve show, midnight show on Saturday. So I think that's it. Just keep your eye out. I think the post on YouTube for it is already there. So if you want to hit the notify me button, go for it. I'll be putting clips out for the rest of the day. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I don't really have much anything to do this week anymore. I think just last week was wild with all the Christmas stuff and trying to get presents and everything for the kids last minute and everything. So you're going to have music tonight? All right. Warren has Fee on tomorrow. That's what it is. Okay, so it's tomorrow. So Warren is going to have Fiorella Isabella on tomorrow from the Convo Couch. I believe she's on RT News now, which is kind of awesome. She moved to Russia recently, which is really cool. It's beautiful out there. Absolutely beautiful. So he's going to be bringing her onto his show tomorrow. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. Brandy and Dee, or Around the World with Brandy and Dee, they're going to be on tonight. You're going to have music on tonight, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Thank you, Holly, for stopping by and showing the support. You guys all remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, which I think all of you guys are already subscribed to it. So thank you for hitting the like button, helping with the algorithms. And I will probably see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow, unless you see my clips today later on. I won't see you. But internet me will see you. And thank you for stopping by. And I hope you guys all have a really good day. And I hope this week is amazing. And I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. And I love you all.